Hello, everyone. Thanks for coming to the fourth of our five-part Veterans Information Series. Today, I'll be talking about dependent and survivor benefits. First, just a little bit about me. I am a 16-year attorney. I'm licensed in the states of Florida and California. I am also licensed to practice in the U.S. District Court of the Middle District of Florida, as well as the Court of Appeals for Veterans Claims. My father was a civilian with the Navy. He worked as an engineer, and my husband is an Army veteran. So I have military ties through the both of them. And my first career was actually in nursing homes. I worked in admissions and marketing, and then later decided to go into law. And where I worked initially in private firms practicing in elder abuse and medical malpractice, social security, disability, probate, and estate planning. But then in 2016, I moved to the nonprofit sector with community legal services. I worked on the Helpline as an advice attorney in all different areas of law where that community legal services provides assistance in. And then I transferred to the public benefits unit as a staff attorney and am now the manager of the public benefits unit here at Community Legal Services, and where the public benefits unit does house our Veterans Advocacy Project. So I have been working and continue to work in veterans benefits, as well as other areas of public benefits like Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, reemployment assistance, and food stamps. I do sit on the Orlando City Mayor's Veterans Advisory Council, and it is thanks to them that we are able to have this information series. I do work with supportive services for veterans and families, SSVF, to provide veterans benefits and other civil services that we provide to veterans and their families who are homeless or at risk of homelessness. And then also I am the chairperson for the Central Florida Reentry Network's Veterans Subcommittee. So dependent and survivors benefits, the term in itself mainly is referring to spouses, children, and parents of veterans who are deceased. Or who are totally and permanently disabled by a service-connected disability. These spouses, children, and parents may be eligible for VA benefits and services of their own. I am going to be talking about the benefits that are available, which include dependency and indemnity compensation, survivor's pension, the Dependents Educational Assistance Program, and the Marine Gunnery Sergeant John David Fry Scholarship, and home loans. But there are also services available, which I'm not going to go into today, but there are services that may be available for the spouses and children and possibly parents, which include educational and vocational counseling, beneficiary financial counseling, civil service preference, services to children of Vietnam veterans who have certain birth defects, and fiduciary services. I'm also going to talk about a few that are not on here, that a few benefits that are available to dependents, spouses and children mainly. Just a couple of that are available that are not on this list. Either because the veteran is still living, or the final one will be the burial benefits and funeral benefits that are available to survivors. So dependent and indemnity compensation is available to spouses, children, or parents. The service member must be someone who either died in the line of duty or died from a service-related injury or illness. And through the DIC benefit, the survivor may be able to get tax-free monetary benefit. It would be a monthly benefit, and the amounts vary depending on the type of survivor. So for surviving spouse, the first type of survivor, it is available to spouses who, actually, I'm going to go a little bit out of order here from what's on the screen. The veteran or service member, they will have to have either died while on active duty training, or in active duty training, or they died from a service-connected injury or illness, or they died from something that was not service-connected, but they still were eligible for VA compensation, and rated as totally disabling for a certain period of time. And that could be the 10 years before their death, since the release of active duty, and for at least 5 years immediately before their death, or at least 1 year before death, if they were a prisoner of war and died after September 30th, 1999. Now, the spouse will have to show that they were married to the veteran either before January 1st, 1957, or if afterwards, that they were married within 15 years of discharge from the period when the disability began or started, or that they were married to the veteran for at least 1 year, or if they were never married or aren't currently married, that they had a child with the veteran. And that's for someone who is not currently married. But they had to have either lived with the veteran or without a break until their death, or if separated, it wasn't the veteran, they weren't at fault for the separation. A lot of criteria for the surviving spouse. For the surviving child, it's very similar for the requirements for the veteran, how they were disabled, service connected, or if it wasn't service connected, for the time periods as well. But the surviving child cannot be married. They cannot be included in the surviving spouse's compensation. So if there's a surviving spouse as well as a surviving child, they can't both be included in the same monetary value and the same compensation. And the child has to be under 18 years old unless they're still attending school, meaning high school, and they're under 23. Now, surviving parents are also able to get the DIC benefit. They just have to show that they're either biological, adoptive, or a foster parent to the veteran, and that their income is below a certain amount that the VA has set. And again, the service member would have had to have died from a service-connected disability or from an injury or illness while on active duty or active duty training, and possibly or on inactive training. And then the survivor's pension offers monthly payments to qualified surviving spouses and unmarried dependent children. for wartime veterans. They must meet certain criteria for income and as set by Congress. The survivor's pension for surviving spouse, they do have to show they have not remarried after the veteran's death, that the deceased veteran did not receive a dishonorable discharge, and that the deceased veteran either, depending on when they served and when they discharged, it's going to depend on how long they served, either 90 days or 24 months. I mean, sorry, 24 months, or the full period they were called to serve. And they have to show that they, within that time period, whichever it may be, that they served at least one day within that wartime era. The other possibility is if the veteran was an officer and they started active duty after October 16, 1981, and hadn't previously served on active duty for at least 24 months. The surviving spouse income and net worth cannot exceed, at least until November of 2021, it's $130,773. The net worth is calculated by the value of everything owned and the minus whatever debts are owed. So we talked about I mentioned the wartime eras. Here are the wartime eras as defined by the VA for pensions. There is the Mexican border period, the World War I era, World War II era, Korean conflict, Vietnam War era. It has recently been changed. The VA is not reflecting it as of yet. But it is a date, and I can't remember the exact start date, but it was in 1955, I believe, for when that started. And then the Gulf War era. Which started in August 2nd, 1990, and is still continuing. For a surviving child, they can get a survivor's pension as well. They have to be unmarried and either under 18, under 23, and attending a VA approved school, or they are unable to care for themselves due to a disability that happened before they were age 18. The Dependents Educational Assistance Program provides education, provides college or graduate degree programs, career training certificate courses, educational and career counseling, apprenticeships, on-the-job training, all these different services or benefits to a child or a spouse of a veteran, of a service member who has died. The service member who have either died, is captured or missing, or has disabilities. And the DEA program will help to pay for the school or job training. It's also called Chapter 35. It's also known as that. There is another possibility for education under the Marine Gunnery Sergeant John David Fry Scholarship, also called the Fry Scholarship. You cannot have both. It's either one or the other. At va.gov, it does discuss both of them. So if education is something that you're looking into, you want to look at both as to which would be the better option. But the Fry Scholarship is a scholarship for children and dependents of a service member who died in the line of duty or was a member of the selected reserve who died from a service-connected disability on or after September 11th, 2001. VA home loans. So they are available to surviving spouses. They may be able to obtain a home loan, the surviving spouse may, when the veteran's either missing in action, was a prisoner of war, or if the veteran died from a service-connected disability and the surviving spouse has not remarried, or if the veteran died while in service from a service-connected disability, and the spouse did not remarry before 57 years old or before December 16th, 2003, or finally had been totally disabled and then died, but their disability may not have been the cause of death. So in certain situations, so that still would be a possibility to help a surviving spouse obtain the VA home loan. So before I keep going, are there any questions that we need to?
Nope, no questions yet.
Okay, thank you. All right, so those are the benefits for dependents and survivors, mainly based on when a veteran dies or a service member dies. There are benefits available while the veteran is still living, one of which is healthcare through CHAMP VA. So here's a little video to go into CHAMP VA and what it offers for spouses and dependents.
Hey, Marissa, the sound
Is it not coming?
isn't sharing. Yeah, there's another setting you need to click to share audio.
I forgot. Where is that? I apologize to everybody. Thank you. There we go. This should do it.
The Civilian Health and Medical Program of the Department of Veterans
Yes, it is.
Affairs,
Thank you.
or CHAMP
Thank
VA,
you.
is a comprehensive healthcare program in which VA shares the cost of covered healthcare services and supplies with eligible beneficiaries. CHAMP VA covers most healthcare services and supplies that are medically and psychologically necessary. CHAMP VA provides coverage to the spouse, widow or widower, and to the children of a veteran who is rated permanently and totally disabled due to a service-connected disability, was rated permanently and totally disabled due to a service-connected condition at the time of death, died of a service-connected disability, or died on active duty and the dependents are not otherwise eligible for Department of Defense TRICARE benefits. To be eligible for CHAMP VA, you cannot be eligible for TRICARE. If you become eligible for Medicare Part A, you must obtain and maintain Medicare Part B to be eligible for CHAMP VA. To enroll in CHAMP VA, complete and sign VA Form 10-10D, including required supporting documentation, and mail it to this address. Or fax it to this number. The form and a list of required supporting documentation is available on our website. Once we receive your form and required supporting documentation, we will process it and send you a CHAMP VA identification card, along with a program guide that addresses covered and non-covered services and supplies. After you receive your identification card, you can make an appointment with a local provider that accepts CHAMP VA. You can also make follow-up appointments as needed. After you receive care, your provider should send the claim to your other health insurance first, if applicable. The remaining balance, including the explanation of benefits from your other health insurance, should then be submitted as a claim to CHAMP VA. If your provider accepts CHAMP VA, then they agree to accept VA's allowable amount as payment in full. A provider cannot bill you for the difference between VA's allowable amount and their normally billed amount. We encourage you to ask your provider to directly send your claim to VA, since your provider has better access to all the required documentation that VA needs to process your claim. Providers can submit claims electronically using Electronic Data Interchange, or EDI. Providers and veterans can visit our website for instructions on how to submit claims. When VA receives the claim, we will review it to make sure all the required supporting documentation is present and that the treatment can be paid for by VA. We will contact you if more information is needed. For more details and to learn more, including costs to beneficiaries for using CHAMP VA, visit our website or call us at this phone number.
All right. So that was about CHAMP VA, a little healthcare benefit information, how survivors and dependents can access their healthcare. There is also the possibility of apportionment, not quite a benefit, but when a veteran is service-connected disabled and they have dependents, they have a spouse or a child or more than one child, they can claim them as a dependent. The expectation is that this money is going towards the support of that dependent, of the spouse or the child. And so in certain situations, that amount can be apportioned from the veteran's disability check. So one is if they are incarcerated for over 60 days, it can be apportioned. The family member can go, or the dependent or spouse can go to the VA and ask for an apportionment of the dependent benefit so that there is money to help support them while the veteran is incarcerated. And the other reason would be failure to pay child support, since that is the purpose of that dependent benefit. And if the child is not living with the veteran for at least 50% of the time, they should be paying they should be using that. I'm sorry, I think I said that wrong. If the child is not living with the veteran, they should be using that dependent benefit to pay the child support. And if they are not, you can seek an apportionment to have the dependent benefit go to the child in lieu of the child support. And then burial benefits. So there is a flat rate monetary benefit that is paid that the VA may provide to eligible veterans for burial and funeral costs. The maximum amount is different depending on whether the veteran's cause of death was related to a service-connected disability or a non-service connected disability. I do have another video here that explains a little more and goes into some other ways that it'll vary the amount and what can be done.
Did you know whether you choose to be buried in a VA national cemetery or a private cemetery, VA can help? Did you know memorial services at any one of our meticulously maintained VA national cemeteries are provided at no charge to veterans, their spouses, and other eligible family members? Did you know these VA services can save families thousands of dollars? VA provides compassionate professional memorial and burial services to ease families through the loss of their loved one. VA memorial services may include burial in a VA national cemetery, the opening and closing of the gravesite, grave liner, inscribed headstones or markers, a burial flag and presidential memorial certificate, and perpetual care of the gravesite. With new VA national, state, and tribal cemeteries opening soon, almost every veteran will have a burial option within about an hour's drive from home. If your family prefers a private cemetery, VA provides a headstone, marker, or medallion, a burial flag, and a presidential certificate. VA grave sites cannot be reserved. However, veterans and spouses can now apply to determine eligibility at any time. At the time of need, contact a funeral home to arrange burial at a national cemetery. To schedule a burial, fax the DD-214 form or other discharge papers to 866-900-6417 or scan and email to nca.scheduling@va.gov. Then call 800-535-1117 to follow up. VA honors the service and sacrifice of veterans and their family members. To find out more about VA memorial benefits, explore VA today.
So as always, it's as with veterans benefits, any benefit that you're seeking representation for or that you're trying to get advice on should be, the advice and representation should be given by an individual who is accredited by the VA. The rule is anyone who's accredited can assist in the preparation, presentation, and prosecution of a claim for VA benefits. And the three types of people who can provide these services are representatives of a VA recognized veteran service organization, an attorney who is accredited in their individual capacity, or a claims agent. Some community resources. There is a Veterans Service Office in Orlando City who can be contacted for assistance. 211 is also a good resource to help direct you to local resources who may also be able to help. And va.gov, just to you can look there at the criteria for the different benefits, as well as what is needed to apply for the different benefits, and even options of where to send the forms and the required information. And we can assist in as well at Community Legal Services. We are a full service civil legal aid law firm. Our mission is that we promote equal access to justice, and we primarily help low income individuals. And our goal is to help protect these individuals, to help protect their livelihood, health, and families. We serve nearly about 20,000 people in Central Florida, but there are about 1 million in Central Florida who qualify for our services. And we are funded by grants. So there are different grants that have different criteria for what would be considered eligible. And the best way to determine if you qualify is to call our helpline. Our helpline is staffed by attorneys, so they can help to qualify you for the services for one of the grants available, see if there's anything available for you. And depending on the area of law that you need help, they can provide advice as well. Veteran benefits, since it is specifically does require an accredited individual, the helpline would qualify for benefits and then refer the matter to the public benefits unit for an accredited attorney to help. Oh, and there is a chat and online application option on the helpline as well on our website. And finally, we've got one more left in our information series next week, next Friday at noon, access to healthcare inside and outside of the VA.